2023? That's a question that many people have. In today's video, I will be sharing with you guys some ways that you can migrate to Canada in 2020. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome, and all the returning subscribers, welcome back to another video. If you haven't subscribed already guys, please take a second, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and drop a comment. Where you're watching from is very important to me. Now let's get into it guys. Migrating to Canada has never been easier than in 2023. There are many different ways that you can migrate to Canada, and in this video I'm going to be sharing some ways that possibly you could take as your route to get to Canada, become a permanent resident, and ultimately a citizen of Canada. Before I get into it, although guys, I want to say that I'm not an immigration consultant, not an immigration lawyer, affiliate, or anything of the sort. Anything that I say here is strictly based on research, strictly based on my own experience and experiences of friends and family. Now let's talk about one of the main ways that a lot of persons use to migrate to Canada is through what is called international student route. This is where you come to Canada as an international student. You go to what is called a designated learning institution. You do a certificate, a diploma, a bachelor's, or a post-graduation program, master's, postgrad diploma, whatever case may be. And this oftentimes is one of the safest ways to migrate to Canada. Whilst it's safe, it can be a very expensive venture. So a lot of persons tend to shy away from it. But if you can afford it, it's usually one of the most guaranteed ways. Even though nothing is guaranteed, it's one of the most guaranteed ways that you can migrate to Canada. Another way that a lot of persons use to migrate to Canada, guys, is what is called the express entry stream. Now, this is where you come to Canada as a permanent resident. Express entry is separated into four main categories: Canadian Experience Class, Federal Skilled Worker, Federal Trade Worker, and most recently, Provincial Nominee. This is where a province nominate a candidate and say, hey, that person will be an ideal fit to my province, so I want them here. A lot of persons have been using these streams to come to Canada directly as a permanent resident. Now, unlike the international student route, the express entry stream can be very time consuming. There's some prerequisite that you have to do before you can get into the stream. It's based really on a point system. The amount of points you get determine your rank in the pool, determines if you get an invitation or what is called a notification of interest, right? Now with that being said, a lot of persons don't really have the time to wait an express entry because it can take anywhere between 6 months to 2 years to 3 years. Depends, right? So it's not guaranteed as much as an international student route, but it's a very popular route as well. So let's talk about a third way that you can migrate to Canada. So you don't have enough money to show that you have settlement funds. You don't have enough money to apply for a college or to go to school. There's a way for you, and that route is really the foreign worker stream. And through the foreign worker stream, if it is that you are able to get a LMIA job offer from an employer in Canada, you can definitely use that, apply for a work permit, and come to Canada as a foreign worker. There's many different ways that you can come as a foreign worker. It depends on the province. Each province have some different nuances that can benefit the applicant, being yourself in this case. The easiest way is to get an LMIA. Now, what is the LMIA? LMIA stands for Labour Market Impact Assessment. This is when an employer applies to Service Canada to say, hey, we got this position. We can't find a Canadian citizen or permanent resident to fill this position, so we're asking for an approval to hire a foreign national. And this gives the foreign national the opportunity to come to Canada, work as a foreign worker, and then the experience that they gain while being a foreign worker can be contributed towards their permanent residency application, right? Now, that's three streams that's very viable. Now, in 2023, there are some policies and some, I'd say, streams that wouldn't necessarily have been existed a couple of years ago. There are so many streams that exist in 2023 that wouldn't necessarily have existed a couple of years ago. Like for example, there's a public policy that says that if you come to Canada on a visitor's visa and you are able to secure a LMIA offer, you don't have to leave Canada. You can apply directly for a work permit that allows you to stay and work in Canada without leaving the country. That is something that came about because of COVID, and it sticked around, and it's going to be here for at least another year and a half because it's going to be expiring in February of 2025. That's definitely something that you can benefit from. Now remember, I talk about provincial nomination. Now each province has its own little mini immigration streams per se. Now the first three streams that I quoted is really what is called federal streams. That is when the wider Canada create these policies that you can migrate to Canada. But each province has its own little mini stream that you can migrate specifically to that province. Let's talk a little bit about those little mini streams. Let's talk about the Atlantic provinces. Now the Atlantic provinces consist of Newfoundland and Labrador, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island. These provinces are called the Atlantic provinces because it's bordered by the Atlantic Ocean. Now, the good thing about these provinces, it has a stream that's called the Atlantic Immigration Program, or AIP for short. This is when you get specific job offers in these provinces and you can apply directly for permanent residency in any of those provinces. Now, that's a stream that you guys can look into. Now, let's talk about Alberta. That's the province that I'm in, and that's the number one province in Canada, just in case you didn't know. Now, in Alberta, you have a number of different mini streams that you can use to become a permanent resident or even come to work, right? One of those streams is what is called the rural renewal stream. This is when participating employers in rural cities in Alberta has the opportunity to employ foreign nationals and give them the opportunity to become permanent residents. So this is a stream that's specific to Alberta. Now, most provinces has what is called the STEM stream. It stands for Science, Technology, Engineering and Math. Now, in some provinces it's called STEM, and in some provinces like Alberta it's called the Tech stream. This is where if you are in an occupation that is considered a part of the technological stream, which can be found online, and you receive a job offer, you can use that job offer to apply directly to the province for permanent residency, right? Now, that's something that many persons don't look into. Now, you might hear tech and think that it's talking about engineer, networking programmers, developers, but it's really broad to include HR personnel and business and finance managers as well. So you can look into that as well. Now let's talk a bit more about the entrepreneurial stream. This is also a stream that is in Alberta as a part of the Alberta Opportunity Stream. Not sure if it's in other provinces, but if you are coming to a rural community in Alberta, similar to the rural renewal stream, you also have what is called the rural entrepreneurial stream, where you are able to show some money and you can, the fact that you are starting a business can be your pathway to permanent residency in that particular city, in that particular province. Now these are some ways that you guys can use to migrate to Canada in 2023. Some of these ways were not prevalent back in the day, and some might have been there for a while. Now, whatever pathway you choose, know that everybody's immigration journey is different. You will not judge your journey based on anybody else's experience, as your journey is unique to you. It's just like your fingerprint. Everybody's pathway is different, right? Look at the stream, see what makes more sense to you, choose that pathway, and then definitely you'll be successful. If you have made it this far in the video, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you have not yet subscribed to the channel. Hit that like button and drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. It really is important to me. Welcome to all the new subscribers, and big up to all the old subscribers. Again, thank you, and see you guys in the next video.